I can do anything in heels. Honestly, like write in, challenge me, and I promise you I can do it in heels. Hi, I'm Jenna Dewan, and this is my Women's Health Body Scan. I love that I can embrace being muscular and feminine at the same time. That's one thing that took me a minute when I was younger, because of course the grass is always greener, so I wanted to have, lots of curves and this tiny waist and big hips and all these things that I just wasn't. And in age and in time and wisdom, I learned to appreciate it because my body has served me really well my entire life, and it's strong and it's muscular, but it's also really feminine. So I just learned to accept myself and love myself, and here we are. My feet. Well, how long do we have, people? I have every story about my feet. I did a Ricky Martin video one time where we were dancing in the desert, and I had to wear these little heels that didn't even have a back to it. It's just these little heels. And we were on our feet the entire time. I'm dancing the entire time. It was hot. It's in the desert. I ended up getting back, and I couldn't even get the shoes off my feet because my feet, with the shoes, had sort of morphed and grown into my feet. It was the most insane thing. I had to get an ice bucket and dunk my feet with the heels still attached. And it took, you guys, I am not even kidding, an hour for me to peel off the straps off my foot. So dancers and feet, it is a whole thing. My feet are shockingly not as bad as they should be for 20 something years of dance, but I will never show them to you on this video. Being pregnant 2 times, having 2 babies, was such an extraordinary experience in mind-blowing gratitude for the female form, for the fact that we can build life, give life, and then our body has its own recovery process and its own process that it goes through, and that blew my mind. I had 2 really good pregnancies, but with Callum, little things were different. I was much more sick, to put it bluntly. I was, living on ginger tea and ginger candies. I was just really nauseous, much more than I was with Evie. But the pregnancy itself, there are little things that were different, but for me, I really lucked out where both of them went pretty normal, and I am a very happy person pregnant. I don't know if it's all the progesterone. I'm very emotional. I definitely pulled over quite a few times, hysterically laughing that turned into hysterically crying. I don't know if any mom out there has experienced this, but that only happened with Callum. All of it was really, really fun and interesting and different, and I grew a lot, and what a body journey. Steve is so accepting and loving and very generous with his love with me. I think pregnancy for him was also mind-blowing because it was his first time experiencing it, and we were with each other every single day for the entire pregnancy except for one night, and so we laugh about this all the time. So he really got to see all the steps. And he was just amazed and constantly telling me I was beautiful and that this was beautiful and the female form is beautiful. And I think for women, when our whole bodies are changing and our emotions are up and down, there's so much going on, to have somebody at home that really just truly appreciates it and is in awe of it, makes everything feel so much better. And not that someone else's opinion necessarily it defines you, but it is nice to have that supportive love that really finds it sexy and beautiful and all the things. And Steve was really amazing for that. The amount of hair mistakes that I have made in my life could take up this whole video. Let's see. I cut my hair, my dad, when I went to visit him when I was about 8, 9, lived in San Francisco, and at the time that was like so cool, you know, all the cool kids. So he took me someplace, and I had hair, you know, my whole life long, and they chopped it to here and gave me, you know, butterfly bangs. So it was like this like wave of bang. Needless to say, there are very few pictures of me at that stage. My mom, I got off the plane, she was like, it's like this horrible haircut. Then I permed it. Yeah, I'm from Texas, so, and Baltimore. So in the 80s and 90s, Texas and Baltimore hair was perm, butterfly, wave, bangs. I've done it all. The perm was pretty bad. I also did those chunky, which by the way, actually are coming back, but you know those chunky blonde highlights? I did those where it was like racer stripe hair. For Janet Jackson, when I danced with her, we decided that I needed to have rainbow bright hair, so I had manic panic colored hair.
Jenna Dewan!
With Janet Jackson, when I did her All For You tour, there was a moment where I walked out dressed in the All Right suit, which was supposed to fake out the audience that I looked like Janet. You know, I had the hat down, and it faked him out so much that at some point we decided that I needed to have different hair than Janet completely. So we kind of had the same haircut for a minute. So then I said, well, I'll cut mine off and let's color it. You know, I'm just crazy. So they loved that idea. And so we bleached it, cut it, and then did red, pink, purple, like all different color hair. And you know, you only toured with Janet Jackson once, so you've really got to go for it. I would say that in a mental health perspective for me, I definitely would say anxiety has been one of the things that I've really had to do the most work on. Sometimes it's hormonal based, sometimes it's, I noticed it a lot after I had Evie. It was, you know, something, I was worrying a lot. That tends to be my first trigger point. I know when I start worrying about my kids or, you know, life and things, I'm starting to sort of get on a track, a little mental track. It's my first clue. Okay, you're feeling anxiety and you might not be aware of it. For me, meditation has been huge, and it really helps take you out of your mind, and it helps you to focus on something that's a little bit bigger than you. It's a more you know, spiritual, or something that just connects you out of your mind, more into your body. In my experience too, anxiety really strikes when I'm not in my body and not being physical and not moving. So when quarantine happened and everyone was sort of, were home, it was one of the first things that I was also recovering from having callums, so I wasn't moving a lot, but I realized as soon as I started to move, whether that's in my house, in a Pilates workout, or a walk, something like that, my whole mood and energy shifted. My favorite body part to exercise is probably my legs, because as a dancer, you're constantly using your legs and you're strengthening your legs and your core, but there's something about, for me, when I get to the leg workouts, the butt workouts, the more of the strengthening of those muscles, I feel almost, it's like, okay, I remember this. I've done this my whole life. So that tends to be the easiest thing for me to work out, and also the most fun. My favorite exercise for my legs are squats, lunges, anything ballet bar, anything Pilates, anything that's plies and releves and strengthening. I also love using resistance bands and any kind of toning of the lower body in a version of ballet bar, squats, or lunges is my favorite. For me, my body has been kind of the base of almost my entire life. My work, my creativity, everything I feel, the way in which I express myself, the way in which I connect with people, the way in which I show my personality is all around my feelings and the strength and the empowerment that I feel in my own body. I really trust it because that has, to me, been my guiding light my entire life. Thank you for watching Body Scan, and don't forget to subscribe to Women's Health.